This is Emerson Dameron's Medicated Minutes, LA's #1 avant-garde personal development program. Episodes premiere first Wednesdays of the month on KCHUNG, 1630 AM, kchungradio.org, KCHUNG Los Angeles, website for the show, medicated-minutes.com. I'm Emerson Dameron, your producer, host, witty and wounded romantic hero. I love you personally. Levity saves lives. And I hope that whatever is going on with you since we last interfaced, by which I mean had sex, I hope that it's so peachy that you can barely stand it. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I go all in. How you do anything is how you do everything. So I do everything like I f*** off, and that means I wreck shop. I destroy it. Love the blank canvas. Get a line on the liminal. Your home is in the not knowing. Flow like water. Adapt. That's the only skill that matters. Balance the yin and the yang. Harmonize and partner and collaborate with others. You'll feel better about yourself, for one thing. Express the ineffable. It's never been expressed before, otherwise it would be effable. Somebody's got to do it. Swing for the fences. There it is. The ineffable. Express it. Do it. Go. Act without attachment. We're not saving the world here. We're not curing cancer. We may not be even saving ourselves, so have a sense of humor about it. Take the wins and the losses with grace, in the rhythm of nature and harmony with others. There may not be a natural order to things, but you'll be better off if you act like there is, because rhythm feels good. Organisms love to feel good and love other organisms. Cultivate Wu Wei, the art of doing by not doing. That'll save you a lot of time and effort. Return to the source, as above so below. Live your life as art. Channel the life force itself, and that is of course sex, the force of creation. Cultivate patience and persistence as you do this. If you want to quit early, quit often, and then quit quitting. Find something you love too much to let go, or you're just sick in the head and you can't stop yourself, but you can get over that if you fuse intuition and intention. Trust yourself to know what to do and learn from the experiences that result. Cultivate your imperfections, showcase your worst qualities, celebrate playfulness, show us your brokenness. We're all broken, we all need to get together. We don't need to fix anything, we just need to love one another and radiate compassion through creativity. Create to connect, express the unseen essence, see what can't be seen, say what can't be said, navigate paradoxes. Love the poetry of the paradox. Life is struggle, it is perseverance, or it's nothing, because that's the only way the pleasure matters. So get in the game. Create. Feel superior. Feel it, you become it. Know that you already are it. Feel that in a visceral way. Prioritize yourself. If you prioritize anything, if you get over yourself and don't prioritize anything, things will start happening for you. Get a handle on your feelings. Feel them, yes, that's part of the deal, but it's part of a negotiation. The goal is to have them under control. Get off your phone, throw your phone away, hit it with a hammer, get a new, nicer one, and then turn off the notifications. Disappear for a while. Always have something to do on weekends, even if it's undisclosed and it's just watching documentaries. Make sure you got a lot of options. Have some options you don't even want, and then get some more that you do want. Get rid of the ones you don't want. Always be getting better options. And be happy regardless of what happens, including the apocalypse.
I am not here, so there is nothing to fight, nothing to fear. I am not here, so there is nothing to do, or say, or defend. I am not here, so there's nothing I wish for, or want. There's nothing I need. I am not here, and so I disappear. I do not take, or push, or sway, or give. I do not speak. I am not here, so there is nothing to fear, because I am not here. I am not here. Nothing is my right. Nothing is mine to say or share. Nothing is mine. because I am not here. How does this differ to being here? If I exist, if I am, I have energy to output and input. I have life to pour into. I have things to say and places to be. I am here and everything is here too. And if I am here, I must feel safe. And if I am not safe, then being here is scary. But why does the world feel unsafe? Why does it feel like it's too much to bear? What am I afraid of? Losing love or losing myself? If I lost myself, then there's nothing to fear. If I hold myself and say I am here, then I must fight. Is that it? Is that right? So, what is it to be here and not be here? To be here and not be in the fight?
The black flame of the rebel warrior spirit burns deep within you, but bad health, stress, and self-pity make you pathetic, unsexy, and disgusting. So before it's too late, meditate. With meditation, you'll make your mind your bitch, rain hellfire on your feelings, exterminate your emotions with the force of a blast furnace, and wash away the ashes when you summon the wrath of Poseidon. With meditation, the emo eradicator. Teach you how to meditate. You already know, and you probably made up your mind whether this is something you want to take seriously or not. Everyone's told you to meditate. You've decided whether it's going to be an everyday thing. You're sick of hearing about how great it is. There's a bit of a backlash. It's more than you've heard. It is, to my mind, absolutely necessary to deal with the onslaught of ridiculousness and the avalanche of content that we have to deal with. It involves the breath, which you can take everywhere as a whole representative, a talisman, if you will, of the basic polarity that's inherent in all things except when it isn't. It's absolutely non-negotiable. I don't think you can live a good life and be a good citizen, or dare I say, a good person, without this practice. Try this, and then, you could turn anything else into a practice too, but it's easier if you start with this. Basically, you just breathe and notice what you notice. Come back to the breath. If you notice an emotion, a thought, flicker in your vision with your eyes closed, because you're still seeing even with your eyes closed. Just notice that and come back. Don't tell yourself a story about it. Don't get caught up. The goal is not to shut off your mind. You couldn't do that right now if you wanted to, but you will notice after a while that you can't unless it's not you. If it was your thoughts, you just stop thinking them, theoretically. And if you were when you're talking to yourself, who are you talking to? Who's this most boring person in the world that's hijacked your mind? It's not you. After a while, you start to detach from the parts of you that you think are you, that you identify with, that are the most painful, including your feelings, that absolutely dominate your emotions and make your mind your bitch, and crush your feelings, beat them into submission. You will not be swayed by your emotions anymore. You will no longer be a little bitch. And as you discover your power to do this, you will realize that you can work the same magic on anything. You can crush your own thoughts and crush your own feelings and jettison all of that. Realize it's not you, it's impermanent. It causes suffering, but you can liberate yourself from suffering by taking the antidote, which starts with meditation. And as you go forward, you can just start crushing it. You can turn on and off your emotions like you have remote control. You can regulate yourself in a whole new way. And you have that power over yourself. What's to stop you from having it over other people? Once you figure out how to elicit emotional states, because you will continue to have feelings. It's just that when you detach from them, eventually you can start governing them. It's not just that. You can also change colors and all kinds of other cool stuff. You'll see. I don't want to spoil it all, but I will tell you, you get immense power over yourself and other people. And when you can make other people feel good about doing what you want, which also helps you feel good, everybody feels good and everybody gets what they want, which is what you want. So really, what's the problem? I mean, most people can't take care of themselves. Have you talked to them? Like, when was the last time you interacted with someone who seemed to know what they were doing? They don't, and they're essentially begging you to come in and take over and dominate them. You're doing them a favor. You're helping. It works out for everyone. And if someone gets hurt, do they really? You've already discovered that you can decide how you're going to feel. Within hours, if not minutes, you can turn off your own reactions to pain. You can do the same thing for other people, but if they refuse to do that, to learn how, which is just a very basic process of undoing yourself and deconstructing your perception, realizing that reality is a controlled hallucination and you don't exist, which is incredibly liberating. If they don't want to do that, then is that really your problem? Once you've seen this, you can't unsee it. It creates something of an obligation to create your own reality, your own thoughts, feelings, and experience. Why not use that to make some cash? I mean, you need money to live, and the more you have, the more fun you can have with it. You can take care of people who need it. You could help out single moms or parolees looking for work who can't find it. Or you could do what I will do, which is do elaborate pranks in the style of the Magic Christian. And there's also lots of sex. Sex is God. Sex is the force of creation itself. It is the maximum intimacy. It is also violence because it involves the transgression of boundaries. That's how intimacy works. It's an exuberant celebration of human creativity, the first and last word in physical comedy, and it's a lot of fun. And you can beat it up once you shut off your mind. Because what is it that cock blocks you or clam jams you more than anything else? It's your own self, your internal monologue, your false negative beliefs about yourself. It's your mind. It's you, which doesn't exist. So how are you not having all the sex that you want? In my case, I don't have time to take advantage of all the opportunities that come my way. I get laid a lot. I'm not getting any younger. It does take it out of you physically. There's a difference between getting hurt emotionally, which you can easily fix, and breaking your leg, which takes some time to heal, or almost getting a heart attack because of the mind-blowing sex that you had a couple of nights ago with someone who's in a bad relationship and needs to feel good, and I can make that happen. And if the guy's feelings get hurt, is it really my problem? If he doesn't fix it and can't make his woman come, you can look up on the internet how to make women come. I can understand why you're scared of that. Female sexuality is it's a force of nature. There's a reason all authoritarians have to keep it down. But if you're afraid of that, you're afraid of life, because life is pleasure. Plants turn toward the sun, and humans seek pleasure, often through sex, because it feels good. It is good. I'm having too much, so maybe take some of it off my hands. I'll show you how. I have sex with women, and you should too. You've seen women come on. In conclusion, you kind of have a responsibility when you really have to exercise this sort of control over your experience, which you can and will, because there's nothing there. It's all made up. This is it. And you can change it, edit it to your will. You can be the auteur of your own experience of a power that you've never imagined before. Now that you know that, you cannot know it. So what's it going to be? Breathe with me. We'll end with a little guided meditation practice.
I'm a sadist. My great joy is to inflict pain on other people, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Did you know that sadists face discrimination every day simply because of who we are? With so many people competing for the status of victimhood, we need sadists more than ever. If you really dig deep, you might find we have a lot more in common than you'd hoped. Join us in the fight for fair treatment, equal opportunities, and respect for the sadist community. Be kind to the cruel. Visit askasadist.com to learn more. I am a sadist with a heart of rugged gold. I hurt people in the ways that most help them, and it means the world to me when you let me be mean to you. I'm a sadist. I'm here to help. Life's a lot simpler with a sadist on your side, or looking down into those beautiful eyes that look so good when you're doing the thing you were born to do. Thriving in your personal life with help from me in the form of my advice. I am LA's most feared agony columnist. I answer questions.
Dear sadist. Hello, long time, first time. Maybe you can help me. I'm in a long-distance relationship, and I'm struggling to maintain intimacy with my partner despite the physical distance. Do you have any advice or suggestions for keeping the spark alive and staying connected, emotionally and sexually?
Long-distance relationships, an exquisite form of torture. Each one is a little bit different, and all of them are inexplicable. Why would you do that to yourself? You absolutely sick, twisted, delicious slime creature that I want to nail to the center of the earth. I'm getting distracted. It's hot that you're doing this unpleasant, lonely, liminal, here but not here thing to yourself where you're in a relationship but without the physicality. In the meantime, there are a lot of masochists out there, and none of you will admit it. Well, some of you will, and you're my favorite people in the world. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to everyone else who works that out, if that's what you want to call it, through these acts of self-sabotage. If you have a celibacy kink, this is a wonderful place to be. You can demand celibacy of your partner, which means that they're either going to be miserable or they're going to be cheating on you. Their loss. You're an absolutely excellent sadist, and they will never find another one of your caliber if you give them that choice. They're not going to be celibate, and if they theoretically were, they would not be enjoying anything. If you're into that, if that's what gets you off, I respect it. I live in a significantly transparent glass house. I admit it. I am outwardly cruel and thus can be artful and, dare I say, heartful in my practice of cruelty. That's the gift of self-awareness that I give to myself every morning upon awakening. Why am I in such a vanishing minority? Ray Dennis Steckler once said, if you sleep on the floor, you don't have to worry about rolling out of bed. And yet, people still sleep in beds. People still sleep. That means you're not having enough sex. If you were having good sex, you wouldn't be able to sleep. You would be awake for 3 days and not even notice, because you would be high on the best drugs available. And they're all right in the human brain, and a lot of them come from good sex. Everyone should have as much of that as feels good or feels bad in a way they enjoy, which I entirely condone, especially if it's self-aware, or feel bad to someone else in a way that makes you feel good. You can do a lot of that stuff long distance. Ethical non-monogamy has a lot of rules. Come up with some rules that are gloriously disgusting. It's a good opportunity to cultivate some of your higher aspects. The GOAT, the Marquis de Sade, wrote most of his best work in asylums and prisons. We would not have Malcolm X if he had not gone to prison. It can be a monastery, because anything can be anything. That is the versatility of our delusion. May it be more consciously self-imposed, and thus pain or pleasure that we inflict. If we inflict pleasure, that is truly cruel. Nothing makes someone's head explode like getting what they really want in life. That is some next level stuff. That is not for amateurs. I would be very careful with that. I would try to wake up to what I was doing. I don't have to worry about that. I'm wide awake, doing it right. I'm an artist of cruelty. Long-distance relationships can give you time to read a lot if you're actually going with the celibacy thing. And I hear a lot of people are just jacking it now, and more power to them. That's less potentially dangerous. I'll answer this question, how can I keep my long-distance relationship interesting? There are many options short of swatting. although swatting and doxing are ways to ruin your long-distance partner's reputation in their own locality. I would ramp up to swatting, especially if you don't know how long you're going to be in different cities. You can make them feel bad about their city. You can insult its sports team or food, which is stuff that seems to genuinely upset some people who clearly deserve it. Or remote-controlled toys. You can either demand that your partner carry one of these in an orifice, or you can convince them to do something that they already wanted to do in a way that makes them think it was their idea and have no mercy on them. This is, we must admit, despite the significant downsides, truly the golden age of surveillance tech. An excellent time to be a sadist.
If you've got a big, seemingly intractable bad habit, there is a way to stop it. It works for everything, and it's the only thing that works for anything. Here we go. Get real. The reason you screw up everything is that you're a loser. Your low self-esteem is accurate, and you can't take care of yourself. So make up an imaginary friend who can handle anything and become your imaginary friend's bitch. Ruminate over everything you've ever done wrong and confess your sins to your imaginary friend and some random scumbag. Now take a quick snack break. When you're done, beg your imaginary friend to make you a better person. Tell everyone you're sorry. Pay for everyone's therapy on your credit card or by discreetly selling your anti-anxiety meds to your new friends, all of whom have their own imaginary friends. Take responsibility for everything from now on, as long as it's bad. Use magic to help your imaginary friend become a real boy. Never shut up about any of this and freak the hell out if anyone makes fun of it. Mazel tov, you fixed yourself for now, and all you had to do was feel like worthless garbage.
Hey baby, been working out? The booty's looking fine, looking stacked as always, better than usual. I want to kick it with you. And you know what I'm talking about. Kick that cocaine. It's the only thing cramping your style, baby. You got too much going for you. You have stuff going up your nose like that. I know what's up with that. Yeah, I'm tired of it. It was fun 18 months ago, back when we were kicking it, but I was kicking it with you and unkicking that cocaine. I know you're back on it too. You gotta do something about that. It's gotta be real hard to get off it, like some other things that are real hard. Higher level calculus, that's hard. Cement, things of that nature. The bottom of the pool, if you dive in the shallow end and hit your head, that's real hard. Kicking cocaine's not that hard. The hard part is the first part. Kind of like my hard part has always been the first part. Starting a new lifestyle. It's like that. You got style. And then get in your life, get in some other things, get in the program. No, I'm not talking about 12-stepping, not talking about half-stepping. Got another kind of program in mind, baby, based on Buddhism as a meditation. They don't have chips. It's not about time. Time has no meaning when you're having hot sex. Time can go by slowly. Kairos, they call it in literature, and everything just seems to stop. Then when it's over, you're thinking, damn, where did those 3 hours go? I don't want them back. There's no better way to spend them. Definitely not doing cocaine. Cocaine will screw up the empathy centers in your brain. It'll make you desirous of lovemaking, but then unable to make it good because you're not really in the present, because it screws up your ability to defer gratification or your willingness to. You still can. It just feels like torture. Everything feels like torture. It feels real bad to get off of cocaine. It feels bad when you're on it. It's like, what kind of bad do you want to feel for a couple of days in the interest of feeling real good later on? It's not like your whole life has to change. People complain about the recovery programs where like all of a sudden your whole life revolves around that. Your whole life's going to revolve around something. I'm going to tell you what it is. It's not the 12 steps. It's the 12 inches. Because that's how thick the books are that you're going to be reading. Damn, you got nice legs. It's a shame you had to sell your car. But then again, damn, they say nobody walks in LA. It's like nobody's fine like you are. Everybody's beautiful in their own way, not in your way. You're exquisite, smooth, delicate skin like onion skin typing paper. And it's a hard world for someone so bespoke, so artisan, so exclusive. is you. That I got just the thing that's gonna help you. It's gonna help both of us. We're gonna learn and grow together. I'm growing right now. I'm growing by leaps and bounds. And I might tell you about it later. It's gonna change your life. Hell yeah.
Every artist needs a muse. It's true. We make a great team, we just need some practice. You don't even have to be romantically involved and just hold you somewhat at a distance. So we keep wanting things as long as we can't have them. So I make sure that that never happened. You'd be my sexy cousin that I want to sleep with. Not totally gross. Be like a second cousin. Too gross to actually do. Plus I'm going to have a lot of other options with all of the stuff that I make that's inspired by irresistible friction and polarity in our relationship, because I'm going to keep you off balance. I'm going to make sure you go through life confused, so that you're stormy and emotionally unstable, because that's going to be an endless source of inspiration for me. So buckle up. You've had other bad relationships, but not like this one. I'm an artist, baby. How transparent do you think you are? And how much that you don't think that you're revealing do you think that you actually are? Like, if you knew what everyone else knows about you that you're trying to hide, how much do you think that would be versus what you're actively trying to communicate? Because you speak loudly of your own insecurities. Everything you do has 3 or 4 different meanings that you intend, because you're really good at lacing it with those, packing a lot of hidden messages in there. But there are a lot of other ones that get in there as well that you're not aware of. Like, I know so much about what keeps you up at night, what you hate about yourself. I'm starting to hate it too. You're disgusting. And I know so much about you, more than you know that I know. But I'm not going to tell you everything. I'm not going to give my leverage away. I know what you did last summer and the summer before that. The summer before that was interesting. You were boring last summer, frankly. There's stuff about you do not want to get out there. And it gives you this haunted look. You have a deer in the headlights look that I find very sexy. You're so cute when you're confused. I like your vulnerability. I like goosebumps. Goosebumps are sexy. It doesn't need to be played up, because with you it's just screamingly obvious. I don't want to settle. You know what I'm saying? I believe in magic. I'm a romantic. In spite of everything. Many times I've thought I was going to have to give up. Not fall in love anymore. Not keep dreaming. Not be true to myself. Not be true to my tender heart. Because I've been hurt. I thought my life was permanently diminished. I was damaged. But no, I let myself. I'm dating myself. I'm getting a little better at that every day. I'm by far the best lover I ever had. I know how to light me up like a pinball machine. And I'm not going to tell you everything I know, because that gives you too much power. You have to figure it out yourself. Over the course of our hot 3 to 6 months, I would give it, because I'm going to have to go back to myself eventually. Everyone else is a letdown. And unless I need that special girl, it might not happen. People are just getting worse all the time and disappointing. But I'm not going to let go. If you let go of dreams, life is a barren field frozen with snow. But you need me. I can let you down, smack you around. I can do whatever I want and get away with it, because you know the squalor and chaos that you would fall into if I so much as looked in the other direction. Do you know how many times you've almost died that I stopped it from happening? If you betray me, or you get on my bad side, or you don't live up to my expectations, we're going to find out. Maybe not. You might have a quick death, perhaps even painless. But who knows? It's a wild card. You are a wild card. You're a wild child. I'm the Apollonian disciplinarian master of this relationship. Don't forget it.
If you need to stop drinking, drugging, my recommendation is get through the first part. which is 1,000 times harder than the rest of it. Once you get through the first part, it gets easier sooner than you think. Not soon enough, but soon enough. Try that, and then build a life around not doing the thing. When you have the opportunity, build a life that will not accommodate the addiction that's on the way out. It doesn't work for everyone. Some people succeed with AA, ayahuasca, and some people transfer one addiction to another. That's the fun way. If you haven't yet, try sex addiction. Become a sex addict. See how it goes. It might be a nice distraction from other addictions that aren't quite that sexy. A lot of drug addictions get in the way of sex or increase the desire, decrease the performance. If you haven't had good sex in a while, try sober sex. It really is better. To find out what you like, have sex buffet style. Try everything. You'll be surprised what you could accomplish in one summer-long slut phase. You'll develop a sixth sense and stick-to-itiveness that make it easier to get sex than you ever imagined possible. Life will be a swirl of red flags, which will help with that. You may find yourself disappointed. Be prepared to accept that. You may feel empty inside. Somebody's gonna feel full of sex, that is. Try sex addiction today. For my money, it's the least worst addiction. I don't need to pay for it.
All the little things to nitpick, yet there are so many beautiful things. Those little things scratch and gnaw at my feet, and they bleed. It feels like I'm being consumed by it. But if I let it, maybe, then it will take me whole, and I will be no longer. There will be nothing left for it to attack, fight, or not. I release that part of me which is disturbed, and there is nothing left to deal with. Be a part of the world and feel it all. Why must, or do I? Who says I must? There's a feeling that to stay where I am, to not do anything at all, to feel that I must not do anything at all, is the way. I will go where the wind, stream, and path takes me and rest a while. When I am one with everything, I am not really there at all, leaving no mark. It is the ego to wish to leave a mark, no? Or to build a mountain, an empire for others to thrive and enjoy, also a feat of the divine, to create structure and class, to create art and leave a mark on each other's hearts. What's it like to be a part of the world? To take part and feel the resonance within ourselves, within our souls, to know that there is a place for everyone, all choices and opinions, and know where we are is where we're supposed to be.
Unlock your seductive rays of solar radiance as you level up your electrolyte game and step into a world of sexy sophistication with Sunrise Serenade, an Aurum elixir of pure love set to vitalize and invigorate your beautiful eyes with radiant hydration and a tantalizing tang you can't quite place but already feels like home. Prepare to be enthralled as the molten motion potion dances on your palate, unveiling layers of complexity reminiscent of the finest black tea, accompanied by a sophisticated, subtly sexy, metallic aftertaste. But Sunrise Serenade is not just a drink, it's an experience. Never shaken, stirred, or chilled, Sunrise Serenade marks the dawn of a new, warmer way. Embrace the unconventional. Serve Sunrise Serenade warm. Revel in its rapturous richness and feel the dancing decadence, because every serving of Sunrise Serenade contains flakes of real gold.
When you celebrate a personal breakthrough, savor a stolen moment of indulgence, or honor the beginning of a long and delicious relationship, let Sunrise Serenade redefine your perception of indulgence. Sunrise Serenade is intended for responsible adults of legal age only. Please enjoy Sunrise Serenade responsibly and in moderation. Yes, it's my piss. It's pretty damned obvious. I had nothing to hide. I don't tell you what to do. Sunrise Serenade. It's my piss. Deal with it.
Polarity, sexual polarity, the union of opposites, masculine and feminine, also out, in, yin, yang, life and death, the in-breath and the out-breath, coming together of seemingly opposing energies, for lack of a better word. It's a controversial idea. Everybody's talking about it. Even if they're not talking about it, they're talking about something polarity adjacent in all likelihood. Polarity is a lot like hilarity. Not exactly the same thing, but they have more in common than you might think. What you will find when you die, or when you have a near-death experience, or when you get enlightened, especially if you don't realize it, because if you do, you just get so pompous and insufferable that it's hard for you to understand or retain or effectively communicate anything of importance. That's true of most people, so don't feel too bad about it. Don't feel too bad about feeling too good about yourself and your abilities. Polarity is controversial because it kind of brings with it, in some quarters, the notion that if you were born female, you have these innate qualities. A lot of things that are associated with the feminine may not be everyone's cup of tea, or people might really love them and really hate the people that express them because they have them in themselves and are afraid to express them because everyone has everything in themselves. That's the thing that you find out when you die, or that you're actually finding out right now, but I kind of doubt you're ready for it. So just forget about that. Let's go back to polarity. We are not blank slates. I think that's just patently ridiculous. Like, you'd never say that about dogs. It's not true of humans either. And we're basically dogs, only we don't have a lot of their good qualities most of the time. Some of us are very loyal and stupid. Some of my best friends are intensely loyal idiots. They're wonderful people. Femininity, in particular, was on the wrong side of Nietzsche's philosophy. He talked a lot of smack about the ladies and the women that he was interested in obsessively, the women that he pursued despite their lack of availability or interest, were women who expressed a lot of qualities that would be considered traditionally masculine, certainly would have been in his time, which was before the Nazis and before his sister bastardized and cannibalized his words to make it look like he was providing an intellectual tailwind for the Nazis, and that's a whole other thing that tarnishes Nietzsche's reputation to this day. I don't think it's true that you can just be whatever you want to be, because I did everything I could to start for the LA Lakers, and friend, I didn't get anywhere close. A lot of that was luck. I think we would go absolutely insane if we knew how much of our lives were almost entirely dependent on luck, like what the role that luck plays in human events would send us caterwauling into nihilism if we fully understood it. I also think that we carry things in our genes that have profound significance throughout our lives. Every second, every breath, we carry the repressed secrets, traumas of our families. There are certain story structures that come up again and again in human narrative, to the point where it makes more sense to say that there's something innate, something carved in our DNA is guiding our hands there, than it would be to say that we just all have this perfect free will where we're fully free to do whatever the hell we want, coincidentally happen to do a lot of the same things as the people around us, or the things that we think the people around us want to do or want us to do, or stupid stuff that we don't want to do really, and we kind of know that, and we're gonna regret wasting so much time trying to impress a bunch of people we don't like or respect, because we think if they like or respect us, that'll somehow solve our problem of intense loneliness and existential despair, which can really only be solved by dying, or kind of dying but not physically, like just killing the concept of you, which, as we've mentioned many times on the show, can be effectively simulated for the longest 15 minutes of your life by smoking the venom of the Colorado River toad Bufo alvarius, 5-MeO-DMT, aka the Everest of psychedelics. If you want to get over yourself, that's the way to do it. You will not exist, and if you're anything like me, on the 4th round, you will not come all the way back. And that's pretty cool. I was sick of that guy. A lot of my old problems still exist, but they're happening to somebody else, which makes them kind of hilarious. There's another way you can do it, and that's by engaging with somebody that expresses a lot of things that you repress and vice versa. That's where a lot of sexual relationships come from. They require a combination of comfort and friction, where we are challenged enough to let go of the lies that we tell ourselves about ourselves, enough to relax, enough to get really excited and do everything in Urban Dictionary. You'll notice that these opposites attract kind of relationships tend to be a lot more exciting than the a la carte dating app ritual, where we make a list of things that we think we want, which are usually close to the opposite of what we really want. When we get them, that really makes us upset. Fortunately, most of us don't. The apps are rigged against that, which is good, because when we pick partners by characteristics that we think would be advantageous to have around us, it's not going to work. Eros is the sworn enemy of convenience. It destroys convenience on sight. If you want to build a life based on convenience, you're going to have to miss out on a lot of great sex, and vice versa. By understanding how polarity works, or at least how it works for you, you can make peace with your shadow, own and accept, and then be somewhat more able to control the characteristics in yourself that you don't want to express, that you find undesirable on some level, that you can't wish away, and if you try, they will clothesline you and bring down the whole operation. Maybe not the moment when you least expect it, but you're not going to be ready. You will never be ready. There's no way to be ready to take on things that you don't admit exist. Polarity is, at its best, where two become one, as the Spice Girls so aptly put it, where we dissolve into this universal soup we have never really left, and we're never really happy until we're swimming around in there again. And if we're doing that with somebody that looks great naked, at least to us, that is annoying enough to be funny and really hot, at least to us, that we love so much that the degree to which they get on our nerves is totally worth it, and vice versa. That brings us pretty close to one of the 2 or possibly 3 truths that exist. Multiplicity of things is one thing, and every one thing is a million things, and that's vastly understating it, because the only way to talk about infinity is to understate it, at least with our poorly developed minds way behind schedule. We need to hurry up and evolve. Next time I kick it with Bufo alvarius, I'll see if the Toad is willing to come on the show and talk about Mr. Toad's Wild Ride and perhaps become a sponsor. Don't give anyone any free attention. They gotta work hard for it, or beg for it. Be bold, take risks. Coward dies a million little deaths. Hero dies unsung, because he's not appreciated in his time, but is years later, and will appreciate being appreciated, but coming back as a butterfly, a blue one. Be busy. Come up with something. Do something useful, or barring that, wildly destructive, because that's hot. Know how to be alone. Sensory deprivation float tanks are where you want to spend the vast majority of your time. If somebody picks a fight with you or tries to bait you into making a fool of yourself, ignore them or humiliate them. If you're good at roasting, actually just go away. You're wasting your time with this person. Know primarily that you are smoking hot and anyone would be lucky to suck you off or eat you out. You're listening to Emerson Dameron's Medicated Minutes on K-Chung. Isn't that right? Say it. Better listen and learn. Straighten up. Get on your knees. You were born to consume my content. Do it. Do what I just told you to do. It's humiliating. Do you know your place? Your purpose? Do it. Right now. Oh, yeah, that's... God, you're pathetic. Do whatever I tell you, don't you? God damn. You love consuming my content. You're good for something. What did you just say?
I'm the one who's talking. Don't forget that. You're not the host. You're the fluffer for the host. And the most important character on Emerson Dameron's Medicated Minutes, because this is a show about the most fascinating person in the world, you. Emerson Dameron's Medicated Minutes is LA's #1 avant-garde personal development program. I'm Emerson Dameron. I love you personally. Levity saves lives. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life, and you will call it fate. If your life has been anything like mine, your luck has been nothing if not eclectic. You may have had some good times, you may have grown and changed and taken agency over your life, and yet you may have some remaining stubborn, intractable problems that you have to deal with on the reg. There is such a thing as just bad luck. Nobody manifested the Holocaust. Shit happens. At the same time, there's also painful repetition and resistance. There are the things that you know you want to do, or you think that you want to do, or think that you know you want to do, and you just don't. There's something stopping you. You just can't get your muscles to move in that way. And then there are the self-sabotaging, self-destructive things that you do over and over again, knowing exactly how it's going to end up. Now, it's not necessarily your fault that all of this stuff is happening. However, do not underestimate your genius for pursuit of pleasure. All living things turn toward pleasure, like flowers turn toward the sun. One-celled organisms love to get off, and you might be trying to please yourself and trying to get your desires fulfilled in ways that your conscious mind is not sophisticated enough to understand, but that you are so brilliant that you manage to do it anyway. The fact that you don't give yourself credit for that level of genius causes continuing problems. So if it turned out that everything was your fault and your responsibility and your achievements, trophies on the wall, could you forgive yourself? Could you get off on it? Why do you do this to yourself? You sick fuck. You're warped in the most interesting and delightful of ways. Think about it just as a thought experiment, as a project, as a little game. What if your thoughts were causative and all of this was your creation? As we do create our own experiences of reality, and we can choose to experience a sensation as pleasure or pain or both. And it's all interpretation and context. Nothing is in and of itself. It's psychedelic. It's fractal. Everything is relative. There's no fixed concrete meaning. Meaning is everywhere in bloom. And if you're gonna suffer like you mean it. See what you can get out of your practice of suffering, because you're doing it on purpose. We love to suffer. We love to tell ourselves stories about our own suffering. And we love to feel aggrieved. You have to feel under siege. It makes us feel important. Paranoia is so exciting. So if you're gonna suffer, allow yourself to enjoy it. Maybe pleasure is the hard one. Maybe you can handle more pain than pleasure. Maybe you have a higher threshold of tolerance for pain than you do for pleasure. Maybe you're afraid that pleasure is going to drive you insane. Perhaps. It's a probability greater than 0. And it is possible along the way to get off on every stimulus that comes your way. Everything does not happen for a reason. Everything happens for 2 reasons: sex and power. The sea continuously jerks off, said George Bataille, and that's true of all of us. Certainly have a will to power. I would like to have money so that I could turn it into a boat. Easier than manifesting it. And if I could just manifest a boat, life would be kind of boring. I like a little friction in there, a little excitement, some sparks. And if there's something that's giving you the bad touch, some too kinky for right now, right about now, feel it. Let it go through you. fuck it, feel it, heal it, let it go. Turn-offs and turn-ons are factors of your own sense of approval, justification. If you see your life as a wild, kinky game, a ridiculous, rip-roaring comedy full of madcap elements, a little bit of dark satire, you can find the turn-ons if you hilariously insist on taking it seriously. You're gonna find turn-offs everywhere you go, so it's just not a big deal. We're gonna die. This is small potatoes. And this life is your great aesthetic, artistic project. Treat it as such. Refuse to take it seriously. This is too important to take seriously. And a way to extinguish a desire, which is particularly relevant if it's a desire that's inconvenient or that you're ashamed of or that you don't really understand, is through fulfilling it. If you deny it and repress it, you're going to give it more and more power over your life. It's going to show up all over the place. If you get it, get off. You can stop wanting it. A way to relieve yourself from the dizziness of life's roller coaster ride is to get off. Try getting what you want. Take the easy way. There are always lots of ways. I recommend an easy and fun one. A nice, leisurely, scenic path up that mountain. If you can get what you want and not go fucking nuts, you can do anything. Friend, you can MacGyver your way out of hell. And your fucked up desires are the best testing ground for that. They can be the most fun, and you get them fulfilled. It's like nothing else. It's like that nice wet tongue deep in your asshole. Your ass, it's your last fucking meal. You nasty fucking whore. Shame is the magic killer. Get good at being a bad person. Awful, pervert, sicko, freak, weirdo. So many contradictory things at once. Inconsistent, wild, feral, vengeful, petty. So ridiculous on so many levels. Do that well, you can go buck wild and get all kinds of things you didn't even know you wanted. You might get things that you wanted your whole life and you say, yeah, okay, that was interesting. You can have a conversation about that later when it's over. And you might get something you weren't expecting to enjoy too much. You might say, oh, well, I guess I'm into that now. But only if you get good at being a bad person and realize that you don't have to feel guilty about any pleasure. All pleasure is profound. All pleasure is rich, dripping with honey and interestingness. You don't have to feel guilty about pleasure. You have to feel guilty about feeling guilty. Don't put more guilt on top of it. Guilt and shame are functional. They'll let you know when you screwed up and give you some ideas for improvement. Beyond that, so let them go. Unless you're really getting off of them, which I think you might be. So do that. Get off. Come shoot a big fucking load onto the ceiling. Get on with your life. Find something else to get into. Once you get what you want, it's not that interesting anymore. Might be the shame is coming from what you expect. Someone else might think. It's just such a waste of time. Life is for fun. Who cares what anyone thinks? You, your parents, anybody. The truth is sensational. It's pictures, sounds, and feelings, tragedy, comedy. It's ridiculous, violent. Life is amazing. You're barely even here for a fraction of it. And even through your bizarre prism of interpretation, it's pictures, sounds, feelings, embodiment, intuition, the splendor of the detail. Fucking get off on it.
Do exactly what I say. Breathe all the way in. Slow down. Relax. Notice between the in-breath and the out-breath, that little moment of zen. Pay attention. Don't make me punish you. Take care of yourself. What have you had to eat today? You can't get all of your nutrition from worshiping me. Exercise. Drink water. Eat good food. Get enough sleep. You gotta be in control to lose control. Do exactly what I say. Take care of yourself.
It's better to be high on yourself and wrong than low on yourself and right. If you're feeling left out or down in the dumps, learn to control and dominate the world with your mind. Get Emerson Dameron's Metabomb, now available on Bandcamp. Next time you find yourself in a peyote ceremony, I have some advice. Bring a large jug of water. The ceremony goes on all night, and it's a long night. You need stamina. You're eating a large amount of peyote. You need to hydrate. Perhaps most importantly, having a jug of water is a great conversation starter. About 25 of us are getting ready for an all-night peyote party, taking our seats in the teepee. I grab one next to the flap by the door. The flap is the door. I'm committed to staying all night and experiencing the full ceremony, but if I need to beat a retreat, I want to do it with minimal drama. A woman sits next to me. She's knockout gorgeous. She has olive skin, dark, soulful eyes. She's wearing a clingy, flowy white dress and a tiara. And now, with no psychedelic cactus in my system yet, I realize, lo and behold, somehow she's talking to me. Do you mind if I share your water? She asks. No, not at all, I say. Go for it. I congratulate myself on my cocky nonchalance. Thanks, she says. It's a good idea to bring that. Smart, too. I'm the total package, and you know it. The bucket full of cactus buttons gets passed around. We eat them. We get to know each other a bit as things get wavy and bubbly and nice. Her sartorial style is akin to what I've seen derisively described as the Silver Lake shaman aesthetic. She lives in Venice Beach. She's in a hurry to move back to Berkeley. She's a singer. Her job is voice therapist, or something like that will almost certainly save the world, at least when she does it. After an hour or so, I'm completely in love with her. Yes, had he sat next to me that night, I don't doubt I could have developed a similar affection for Mitch McConnell. I got extremely lucky this time. The singing begins. Nobody knows the words to the songs, but we're able to improvise and get close enough. Like a lot of drugs, one of the side effects of peyote is music over appreciation. I handle the rhythm and the structure. I hold a stillness, a foundation for her to sing melodies, improvise, and play. She wasn't kidding. Her voice is angelic. I like to think that I sound like Johnny Cash or Lou Reed when I sing, but I don't. I can barely carry a tune, but I can go deep. I try to vibrate so she can feel it. She seems to be feeling something. In this sort of ceremony, the act of worship is honoring the unspoken connections we create and sustain, the ways we hold each other up, keep each other alive, and allow ourselves to flourish in each other's company. It's a celebration of interdependence, safety, passion, authenticity, and our often neglected ability to show up for each other in ways we didn't know were possible, and didn't dare hope. It's friends shaking hands, saying, "How do you do?" and so on. The roadman, the officiant, has all the charisma you need to hold together a group of misfit toys singing and eating hallucinogenic cacti. His spiritual guidance consists of eat more peyote. If you got a problem, you can solve it by eating peyote. If you're not eating peyote right now, you probably should be. He says, I wrote a book. It's called Don't Think, Just Eat More Peyote. It's 200 pages, all of them blank. My lover, my flame, my partner in an all-night whirlwind romance out of time and mind eats the peyote button that sends her over the puke threshold. In psychedelic circles, this is referred to as getting well. She vomits in heroic amounts, more than I think would be possible for a person of her diminutive size. I hold her hair while she vomits. She drinks some of the water and comes back more sexy, vivacious, bodacious, hilarious, and glorious than before. In the end, she's weeping. She says, I didn't want to do this. I wanted to run away. That's why I sat next to the door, but as soon as I started drinking water, I knew I was going to be okay. I had the best night of my life. Thank you, everyone. The roadman looks at the two of us and says, you got a tremendous heart. Topping it off by touching my chest, which is transcendental in context. I think I'm going to feel this good for the rest of my goddamn life. There's more peyote there than we're going to be able to finish, which may be the highest of high-quality champagne problems. As we wrap up, the roadman cautions us against taking stray peyote buttons to go. The peyote don't like that, he says. And that turns out to be true in a general sense. The magic of the peyote ceremony is a function of the worship, the ritual, and the celebration of each other. It only works in this container, in this context. This world and the English language are not safe for it. The ceremony comes to an end. We stand outside the teepee, honoring the 7 directions, preparing to re-enter Earth's atmosphere as I say goodbye to my saucy, sexy, ethereal, weak-stomached siren. It's 10 degrees colder in Venice than the rest of the city, I say.
It's going to be a lot colder when you're gone. That could have used more workshopping. I had a long night. By her response to it, I can tell that if I say other things I want to say to her, it's not going to go the way I want it to go. The sun sits fat and sassy in the east. My magic powers from the night before have evaporated. I leave the container. I go home. I don't see her again. Probably never will. I have one more piece of advice for you, though. If you're in a peyote ceremony and you have a haircut scheduled for the next day, even if it's in the afternoon, just cancel it. That's going to be way too intense.
It is only rushing that pushes the soul out of the body. Where I am now is where I am here, and where I am not is where I am not. I am here, and I am not. I live, but I am not important. I live to feel what I am meant to feel, and then this I will fade, and I will feel again something different. Somewhere else, something new and familiar, all at once.